Welcome back. We are covering not top, but 25 mistakes billionaires have made. And number 19 is Carl Icahn. But before we get going on this, do me a favor, hit the positive feedback mechanism on whatever platform you happen to be listening to this on. It lets platforms know that you appreciate the content, also lets me know that you appreciate it. And I'm encouraged by that. So motivates me to make more content for you. So we're going to cover Carl Icahn, and I'll give you a brief synopsis. There's a ton of stuff written about this guy. He's basically, somebody on Wall Street financier or corporate raider, depending on how, what your vantage point is on him. If you've been part of one of the companies where he's come in and raided the company and you've lost a job from it, or it's negatively impacted your family, you're probably not a big fan of his, but again, I think that it's important to call out that even a guy who, has a net worth, I think of $16 billion plus billion. And again, like I said, this will fluctuate depending on how the investments are looking, from really could be from week to week, so but still 16 billion is a pretty good chunk of change to have acquired. And regardless of your thoughts on, how he achieved it or how he got there, that's not what this video is intended to do. But what I do want to talk about is that this guy had a pretty big blunder. And in the age that we're living in, there's a lot of people who at this point in time, probably don't even remember what Blockbuster is. Maybe you see a meme or something like that, right? But again, I think that it's important to point out that it was basically a video rental company, right? So video and DVDs is really what they, as the technology emerged, obviously, and grew. It went from, VHS videotapes that they would rent, and they'd rent out actually the, video recorders as well, and made huge, huge revenue on their late fees as well. But anyway, I paid a few of those in back in my day, but anyway, back in 2004, though, as the internet was burgeoning and technology was getting better and high speed was becoming, more mainstream to the retail users, this little company called Netflix, which I think we're all very familiar with at this point in time. And this video may not age well because maybe there's a new technology that comes along and knocks Netflix off. They're already competing with Amazon Prime and a lot of different companies out there in terms of what they're streaming, right? But Amazon at the time dethroned Blockbuster. And so this is back in 2004. Back in 2004, and again, this is almost, 20 years ago, $191 million was a little bit more than what it is, today in terms of value, right? That was a lot of money, but he basically poured into Blockbuster at that time. And, basically within 6 years, Blockbuster went out of business. So this guy, he may have recouped some along the way, but that being said, he made just a bad decision, probably wasn't, up on the technology in terms of what the internet was. And, you can see all these past videos when the internet was just coming online, right? And going mainstream, and people saying it's just a big fad, and similar to what they're doing with cryptocurrency and digital assets and blockchain right now. Everyone's saying the same thing. This is a fad. It's a big mistake. You hear politicians to, other business folks that are, saying this is, or have been saying it, and it's here and it's here to stay, and it's going to revolutionize how we do finance. So, keep that in mind before you start judging, crypto. And again, I know everyone points back to when, it was being used for nefarious reasons, but again, so was a lot of technology, and that was a long time ago. And there's actually less nefarious activity on the blockchain and in crypto, less than I think 1/3%, right? Versus traditional fiat cash in hand money that is highly abused, and banks get fined for, laundering money all the time. So it's much higher criminality ties with normal cash than there is with crypto. But that's neither here nor there. I'll get off my soapbox. But again, timing and making mistakes is what the point of this video series is, and just getting some words of encouragement and pointing out some of the mistakes or things that billionaires, have said they wish they would have done differently or better. And I think Carl Icahn would have said, yeah, I made a bad one there. I should have poured that 191 million into Netflix, and I would have had more than 16 billion. But anyway, that's going to do it. Again, before we go, do me a favor, click the positive feedback mechanism on whatever platform you happen to be listening to this on. I do appreciate it. I know the platforms, it helps them distribute the content to other folks that might be like-minded and interested. And so, again, I greatly appreciate it. So that's going to do it. We'll talk to you at the next video.